What's going on, guys? It's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming. Today, a tutorial walkthrough sort of video for you guys. I want to talk to you about pinning and just a little bit of a kind of situation I ran into while I was working on my Death Guard that pinning was very helpful. And so I figured this would be a great time to throw together this bit of a tutorial for you guys while I have everything right here. And so here we are. Now, if you guys are still confused at the end of this video or still have questions, I want to recommend a quick guide to you guys by Beer40K. He has a Back to Basics series, and I believe it's number 4 in that series where he talks about pinning, and he goes pretty in depth. So if I gloss over anything that you are still confused about, please refer to his video. I will link it down in the description. So pinning is useful for loads of things. I just want to kind of go over the most common things that I use pinning for, and we'll go from there. So there are a couple models that are infamous for having basically a very weak contact point. So I have like a visual aid here for you guys. What I'm going to do is use my artistic ability. All right, Richard, don't. You're about to see the massive artistic ability I have right here. So if we have a model, right, so here's the head, okay, it's a very happy model, and then we have something like some shoulders, and here's a shoulder joint, right, so we have this flat surface that the, you know, we're going to glue our arm onto. So say we're gluing an arm on that, like, has another contact point here, and, you know, you got the shoulder, and it goes up, rawr. Then we got a huge sword, like, you guys know Cloud from Final Fantasy. Like, this sword is ridiculous, right? So this little tiny contact point is all that's holding this together. We put some super glue in here and slap that bad boy on there. So this sword is sticking all over the place. If we bump any of this sword, say it's as big as this pen, right? If we hit this at all, it puts so much pressure on this contact point, it's going to snap off. Now this is back when pewter or metal models were kind of more of a normal thing. In 40K, there were so many models that I had tons of problems with. A couple that come to mind, the Hive Tyrant, Flying Hive Tyrant for Tyranids, that Lash Whip and Bone Sword arm. I mean, the contact point, guys, it was like this big. So ridiculous. Demon Prince wings, the old Demon Prince, excuse me, old Bloodthirster, the pewter Bloodthirster, just ridiculous. So basically what we're trying to do when we pin something is put a pin like that to disperse or to help support some of that lateral force that we're putting on this joint in conjunction with an adhesive, super glue, plastic, cement, whatever you're using. It makes the joint so much stronger and really holds things together nicely. So feel free to use this visual aid wherever necessary if you need a reminder. Now, to pin something, I use something called a pin vise, hand drill, mini drill. They're called all kinds of things. You can buy these on Amazon, Hobby Store, pretty much anywhere that sells models in the U.S. Hobby Lobby, Michaels, places like that should probably have one of these. You just spin it, and it spins the bit. There's a chuck in the end that you can change out different sizes of bits, and you drill holes and things. A little more secure and a little more fine of control, obviously, than using your, say, electric drill with a small bit in it. I have this set of jeweler's bits, I believe. I got these on Amazon. So we've got a bunch of different sizes here that you can choose from, and you just kind of match it up to whatever you're using to pin and go from there. So what I use when I pin things, let me see if I can find them. I got a mess over here, boys. Where did they go? There it is. Paper clips. So we've got kind of a smaller size if you need some man mode support, we can go with the big boy paper clips. What I would recommend is make sure when you drill your hole, you might be able to tell this bit is just a little bit bigger than the paper clip. So if we look here, hopefully you guys can get a good look at this. This paper clip has got a little bit of movement inside of that joint. Let me kind of zoom in here. Hopefully this will be easy to see. See that? That just allows for a little more flexibility with the pose of whatever you're pinning, and it's still going to give a good amount of support with that super glue. If you really need something to stay, you might want to make the hole a little bit closer to the size of whatever you're using. So holding together crappy contact points is the best, I think, most common thing that people do when they are thinking of pinning. Also, you pin, you drill the bottom through the feet, drill, put a paper clip in there, and then you can stick it into a cork thing so you can hold on to the model while you're painting. Or a lot of people do these cork style bases, and it's kind of hard to glue something to this cork, so getting just a little bit of a pin through the cork can help. If you really need something stuck, you take the pin and drill all the way through the base. So you go down through the cork, through the base, and then you have some sticking out, and you bend the paper clip off sideways, flush with the bottom of the base, and that'll kind of clamp that stuff down. Another good way to use pinning. But the point of this video is I want to show you guys how I'm using it with my Death Guard and these new power size from Forge World. So there are a lot of things that have the same kind of mounting sort of structure. Let's zoom in here, where we have two arms. Maybe I'll go down. Let's go down. Here we are. Get a better angle. Yeah. So we have two arms, and it's holding onto something with two hands. So the challenge when we're doing this is to glue this on. You would have to hold the two arms, each arm, right, and kind of like glue them onto the shoulders, onto the torso, and then maybe like hold them like this while you come in with the weapon and try to line it up at the wrist, and then you got to get that glued, and everything needs to be posed correctly, and it just kind of is a pain in the ass. So you can use green stuff, you can use blue tack to kind of hold things. The best situation that I've found to handle something like this is to pin the shit out of everything. So what I did was show you an example here. We've got the torso drilled in, and then I've placed just a couple pins here. I like to, as a side note, drill in, put the paper clip in with some glue and then clip it off and let it dry so that we have a stable pin to work with on one side, so that when we're working with the joints here, both sides aren't free, so like it'll just shift around all over the place. So what we're going to do is take the shoulder joints, which you can see I've also drilled out, put those on here, and then what this does, I can even let go. You see it gives us some stability with the pose before we even put any glue in, and as an added bonus, once everything's glued up, it will be a lot more stable for the long run, as we talked about before. So since we have those pins there, it's a lot easier to kind of maneuver this model around. Again, we're pinned over here on the weapon, and then you can come over here and kind of line everything up. Again, you can see that I'm kind of having to move the arms wider and kind of up and down, so it helps to have the pin be a little smaller, so you get some of that shifting. Let's see if I can do this with like one hand here. Come on. Move that one up, move this one down, get in there. There we are. Something like that. Oh, and I was blocking the light the whole time with my hand. But you can see there that it's much easier to kind of do it that way, to line everything up, get the pins in there, set the super glue, and then you've ended up with something like this. Green stuff if necessary, not necessary on most cases. We can see something here. This is the same pose, and I was able to use the pins to line it up quite nicely. You can see the wrist joints there. Let me move this light. I feel like we're not getting a good enough light here. Well, now it's just washing it out. Too much light. So many problems in this video. It's the resin. It's too white. You can see a little bit of gap in that wrist joint there, but it's from the bottom, so not a huge concern from the top where we're going to be seeing it. Everything looks pretty good, and it is very stable. Again, if we were to hit, you know, drop the Mini and it hits, or you end up hitting it like that, the joints are getting a lot more stability from that pin in there. We also have some death shroud conversions I'm working on. This guy's got the two-hander, and again, I did the same thing with the one-handed sides just because of that stability issue. I want these sides to stay attached to the model. I don't want them to knock them off when I hit the model on anything. I'm kind of clumsy. So that is my little pinning tutorial for you guys. I really hope it's helped you out, and I covered enough so where it wasn't too confusing for you guys. Let me know if you have any other questions, or again, refer to the video in the description from IdicBeer40K. Very nice guy, very good video that you should check out if you want to know more about pinning. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.